So gamers are back at it again, being angry that wokeness is seeping its way into every beloved franchise, slowly corrupting said franchise into becoming a shell of its former glory, with meaningful narratives and gameplay sacrificed for political messaging. It has already happened to The Last of Us, to Saints Row, and now GTA? But is this actually the case? And is this outrage warranted? Spoiler alert, of course it's not. It's all very silly. Now, a gamer's tendency to get angry at every little thing is as strong as the word woke is meaningless. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I don't blame you, because it's stupid, it's pointless. But essentially, it's heavily rumored that GTA 6 will have a playable female protagonist for the first time ever. Apparently, she'll be one of two playable characters who will be part of a Bonnie and Clyde dynamic. Now, this by itself has already got certain gamers throwing a hissy fit. However, Rockstar have also mentioned that they'll be trying to be more culturally sensitive both at their workplace but also with this game, and keep it in line with how our culture is today. Now, this shouldn't be anything new because all GTA games show American society from a very specific time, as in they take a photo of the time they're in and then make a game around it. It's why a lot of GTA games feel like they just could not happen right now. But apparently they'll also be toning down the stereotypical jokes, so we'll just have to wait and see the extent to which they do that. However, to get back on track, a lot of people don't like the sound of this. Now, whether or not they're misogynists or just people who don't want wokeness to infiltrate their favorite franchises, which, come to think about it, is a mindset that crosses over with misogyny quite frequently. But either way, I think the outrage that we have seen is hilarious and completely silly. Let's of course look at some examples of people on the internet being angry. We'll first look at some posts and comments that I've seen around, and then we'll see what people on YouTube are saying. I'm sorry, but there is no way I want to play as a female protagonist. Before the woke mob comes and tries to explain that it's 2022 and anything goes, let's be 100% real. The criminal underworld is dominated by men in every single region of the world, and the most powerful women are normally girlfriends and wives, or sisters, of the male kingpin, and I sincerely believe if Rockstar go down this route, it will be the beginning of the end for the franchise. Cool, this guy has seen The Sopranos. I truly struggle to understand how one of the two protagonists for a GTA game being female is this fucking worrying to some people. It's not like GTA hasn't had female characters before, and when you go on GTA Online, almost all you see is people playing as hot chicks they made so that they have something they can masturbate to. You already know that if this protagonist ends up being traditionally sexy with a big butt and who reveals a lot of skin, then these people won't complain. However, if she even so much as dares to have shaved sides and talk down to men, then she's just a woke feminazi and GTA will forever be ruined. Listen, we know practically nothing about this character, and yet she already has a bunch of guys frazzled and insecure. And I love it.
I bet my ass that if you got Rockstar's writing and development crew together with no bullshit or NDAs, that they had zero desire to write a female GTA protagonist. Then marketing and financial guys step down to tell them to get with the times. That's just me though.
Oi bruv, that's exactly how I pictured it. Like, nothing wrong with female protagonists, but in something like GTA, it looks a little out of place and screams focus groups.
How is it out of place in GTA? Women don't exist in GTA universe?
No, they don't.
Don't you dare try to defend this vile attempt to hijack one of my favorite franchises.
Honestly, what's with this whole I knew that the developers would never want to make a female protagonist, as if they know anything at all about the developers? Like, why are people so angry? A Bonnie and Clyde dynamic in a GTA game sounds really fucking cool. But hey, maybe that's just me. Why they womanizing GTA, man? I don't know, man. I ask myself the same question every day. But the worst of all, even a goddamn politician got in on these shenanigans, acting like they care one bit about gamers. They just see something that they know that they can take advantage of, and then they do that, in hopes of getting maidenless virgins to support their cause, and sadly people gobble it up. But we also have to admit that she has a point. When you go woke, you go broke. We saw that with Captain Marvel when it made over $1 billion at the box office, but of course no one went to watch it because it's feminist. Of course, The Last of Us Part 2 also went broke, and despite making a lot of money, no one bought it because of the trans activist Abby. So yes, all things that go woke go broke, just like GTA 6 will. You'll see. No, honestly, people like these are fucking pathetic. Anyways, let's see what YouTubers are saying to this whole situation. And we're starting off with our good friend The Quartering, getting ever closer to saying that he can't play video games without racism and sexism.
Grand Theft Auto 6 to have a female hero. Also, like I said, fine, okay, blue hairs, all right. half-shaved head people. I don't care about that. Scale back spicy jokes, and then they're like, "What? You can't enjoy?" This is what. Now I'm gonna tell you. If you point this out, this is gonna be the reaction of people who will gaslight you. What? You can't enjoy your video games without racism? You can't enjoy your video games without sexism? This is how it works, right? And then what do you say? Oh no, I don't need these things, but and then you don't know how to respond. I like my favorite new responses. Yeah, be offended. Don't care.
This is a really great example of someone trying to predict the argument against them, to then, get ahead and already counter the argument before it's even made. The only problem is that he exposes himself. He basically said, here's what they'll try to say. You can't enjoy your video games without racism and sexism. To which you respond with, well, I don't need those things, but, and then you're trapped. You don't know what to say. Like, how is this not him exposing himself? He's admitting that he doesn't need sexism and racism in his video games, but he does like it. He doesn't mind it. He thinks it would be a problem to remove it. But honestly, what's new? There's also this video titled, Woke Feminists Ruined GTA 6 Female Protagonist, No Controversial Jokes, which is an insane title, and the opening segment of this video is just golden.
Fellas, the fat feminists have gone too far now, alright? We have given up so many things in the last 5-10 years. Alright, you can't say anything fun on YouTube anymore. Everything you watch on Netflix is some woke garbage. Your favorite characters from TV shows have had their orientations changed like 10 years after the shows ended for some reason. A lot has happened, alright? And we've put up with it, but this is just goddamn unacceptable now. This ain't right. Grand Theft Auto 6 to have female hero and scale back racist, sexist jokes, according to a report.
Oh no! How could they do this to us? I love the part where he says that you can't say anything fun on YouTube anymore, and this fun stuff he's referring to is pretty much just the N-word. He really, really, really wants to say the N-word on his YouTube channel without getting called out for it by comment warriors. And what a way to end your opening segment. You just had this long rant about how YouTube will ban you for using discriminatory language, that there are no TV shows for you to watch anymore because your political views don't allow you to, and that moral decay is indeed happening. But then you say that the worst thing to happen yet is that GTA 6 will have a female lead and have less sexist and racist jokes. Allegedly. That's it. Optics-wise, that's not a good look, man. But let's see what else he has to say. Maybe he ends up having some thoughtful arguments. And honestly, the video is not all bad. It's pretty bad, but it's not all bad. He just seems confused. He makes a point about Rockstar potentially using this female character to say, hey, look, we righted our own wrongs, and that it could be a marketing tool to get social points, which isn't exactly groundbreaking journalism, because those things are obvious. It is true that we don't know the extent of this censorship. I personally wouldn't like it if they removed all jokes just to satisfy the crowd, because I think comedy is a very important genre of art, despite the negative impacts it can have. Essentially, I want them to make these changes because they want to, because I see that in our current environment, some of the aspects of the games could be harmful to a potentially large audience. I want more honesty and more people who stand up for things because they truly do believe in it, not because it sells well. That's not the point. But like, GTA has always been a controversial one because you can literally murder people in heinous ways and wreak absolute havoc, so the moral compass is already quite shrewd. However, there are absolutely still ways to show how fucked up the world is while making questionable jokes, but still understanding that in our current climate, certain choices or jokes could be harmful towards certain groups of people. The Boys is a great example of doing this right. But people like this who complain about this shit wanting to go back in time to when you could say anything online without consequences and who don't like the idea of playing as a woman needs to just at least be honest with what they want. Just say it. You want to be able to make sexist and racist jokes. It's okay. You can admit that. Guess what? You can even do it. That's your prerogative. People might not like it very much, and they might treat you differently because of it. And if you don't understand why, then that's on you, but you have all the right in the world to say these things. Basically, what I'm trying to say with this convoluted rant is that it really isn't that deep. Rumors are saying that there'll be a playable female character and some restraint on sexist and racist jokes, and people are seriously getting angry at that before seeing the result. Sadly, this isn't going to change anytime soon, I'm afraid. The culture war is already too ingrained in American society. It's not just gamers fighting against journalists anymore. The culture war has literally split the country and much of the West into two opposing forces, who just can't seem to get along on anything. One side is very unforgiving about discrimination and language, which is understandable, but it also sometimes goes so far that there isn't room for education and civil discussion. While the other side gets all pissy every time any minority shows up in anything nowadays, and if someone tries to address social problems, then these people stop listening. These two sides clash constantly, and it's getting harder and harder to make any meaningful progress. But yeah, I just want to end off by further fueling this fire. All hail the culture war, because look at the way this guy says woman.
But a new report by Bloomberg offers big new details, including that the game will feature the series' first ever playable woman protagonist.
It's almost as if it pains him to do so. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. And what do you think about all this? Are you excited for GTA 6, or do you think it'll be shit, or that some of these aspects will genuinely make the game worse? Let's start a discussion down below. Also, thanks to my patrons, including our turf captain Ben Joseph. The link to my Patreon is down below. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, stay safe, and peace out.